Okay, gonna change the tire with the kenda. It's a 2 3/4 by 14 inch, which fits on MSX, MSP size tires. The rim is 14 inches. The actual OEM tire is 3 inches wide, but this is 2 3/4, but by the time it's installed it's going to be just as wide as the OEM. Now this weighs 2 pounds more than the OEM tire. The OEM tire weighs 2 pounds 15 ounces. This weighs 4 pounds 14 ounces. So it's about 2 pounds difference. So we're going to see how that turns out. So I thought I'll do a video to change tires on the MSP. Okay, I put tape on my set screws so mud doesn't get in there. I changed the standard screws with torque screws, stainless steel. They don't strip as easy as those cheap OEM screws. What I did with my MSP, so I wouldn't have to drop the wheel, I lengthened the wire for the cutoff switch, so I can basically just lay this 180 degrees this way and leave the motor wires and everything and just change from this side.
So I'm working on the left side of the wheel. Quite blown, you know what? Quite blown, I mean. Don't know what I mean, then don't know what I mean. Alright, let's see. So we've got one screw here that holds. Yeah. these screws were metal, so I could use my magnet. Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see how many fall. Now, that's one. Okay.
This is a strengthener that Maryland made. It's basically a big washer. Because out of the factory they give you the same bolts but with very small washers, and most of MSX and MSPs after a while they crack around the holes. So this washer basically is supposed to help with that. No cracks, nothing. Okay, so I don't have to. Now, if you don't feel safe working with the power on, by all means, open the other side first. Disable the, disconnect the XT60 and discharge. So this way, I don't have to drop the wheel. He says. Now you got to remove the core. Now I have armadillos in here, or you may have slime. So when you remove the core, do it gently so it doesn't pour out all the slime or armadillos. Okay, there. I just take my time so I don't. Yeah. Okay. So I don't pinch the inner tube. I'm pretty anal. Okay, this should be it. Yeah. Okay. Wonder if I can do it without removing the inner tube. It doesn't look like it. This is where I find out the video has stopped, right? Okay, I put this away with the valve facing up. Now, I'm going to remove this tire. I'm going to keep this tire. It's still good. Now, one thing I can tell you, the hole where the valve comes through on the inside, most of the wheels has a bear in there. They don't file it down. I suggest when you go to change tire, I suggest you check that for bears, and if there are any bears, to remove it with a file. Okay. Alright, let's just put it there and see. Okay. would help if you have, I suppose for this part, if you have the tire irons. Okay. I wonder if it's gonna rub. I have a bad feeling after all this, it may rub. What if I put it this way so the core is now pointing towards me? What would be the difference? Nothing. Let's make sure. I haven't sprayed anything yet. I may. Okay, just make sure you don't put the tire in twisted. And take your time, because I know of many people that change tires. They want to be in a hurry. They put the inner tube in and then they find out they have pinched the inner tube somewhere. And they have to rinse and repeat. I take my time. For you guys, it may look like I'm slightly touched in the head, but I like to do it only once. And I can assure you, even though this says 2.75 and you may think, oh, I'm losing 1/4 of an inch because OEM is 3 inch. No, you won't. You will see once I put it in. And this twisted. There we go. There. Great. Okay. Well, as you have seen, I still haven't used any talcum powder or soapy water yet. I just try to put the tube in so I don't pinch it. I'll double check it for twists. Okay. Right around the edge, if you run your finger, there's about a 1/4 inch ribs or lines going that way. I use that to make sure the tire is seated evenly. So that's one thing you can use. Now let's zoom back out. Now let's see, do I use the plastic or do I use the metal? Yeah, I use the plastic. But I make sure I'm not catching the inner tube. There. There. Okay. Son of a bitch. It's gonna rot probably. We'll see. Alright, that's as far as it goes without tools. Maybe. This is the part I say if you have heated it up or you've left it in the sun, this part is going to be easier. And one thing also, before you put the tire in, check the bead to make sure. Some tires, there we go. Son of a bitch. It's gonna rub. Let's see. Make sure there's no dust and crap on your valve. Okay, just a little air first. Then you can use a rubber mallet. And seat the tire evenly. Where's my flashlight? Okay. Okay, it's at 34.5. So I'm going to leave it at that. Bit of spit. Nope. Yep. Okay. Just in case spit causes rust or something. Okay. So once you've done that, basically you drop this guy back and that's it. If you don't do it this way, then you basically have to open the right side, take out the motor wires, make sure you remember which way they go back, and the hall sensor. Hall sensor only goes one way, but the motor wires, if you don't put them in their correct order, when you turn on your wheel, you will cause a fire big enough to damage your shell, circuit board, fans, wires, everything. It has happened to a guy I know up north somewhere, so be very careful with that. If you don't put the hall sensor in, I mean, you can't put it in incorrectly, but if you don't put it in all the way, if it's not making good contact, if you forget to put it in, the wheel will try to balance itself and it won't be able to, and finally your circuit board will fry. So that's why I decided to do it this way. Okay, then you go back, you put all your screws in. When you come to put these screws in, if you don't have these big washers that Maryland made, you don't want to tighten over torque these, because then the plastic will crack. These have nothing to do with your axle. Some people keep talking about axle. These are just holding this shell onto the hanger. This is the axle now. These are just holding the weight of this shell onto the hanger. That's it. So I wouldn't over tighten it, because you will crack them. Don't make them too loose, because then you will have this play, but you know what I mean. So you put, those are the things that I would be careful with. Then you would have taken this guy off, so make sure you plug that back in, put your handle through, and put all the screws on, and you should be good to go. Okay, hope it helped. If it didn't, well, it didn't. Tally ho. Here's the end result. That's because it's rubbing on this guy down here. I did fix the LEDs after all. There we go. As you can see, there is no space. It's rubbing some. It's not seated perfect, but it's okay.